Hello, everybody. Welcome to your 26 posture class. My name is Donna Martins, and I'll be guiding you through class today. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Let's get started. We'll start by standing at the front of our mat. Big toes touch, heels a little bit apart. We'll externally rotate our arms to lift the arms up to the heavens. Take a deep breath in. Hands press into prayer. Prayer comes right down the middle of your body as you exhale the breath out. And we'll do this many times. So when you externally rotate your arms, drop your shoulders down. When you reach up, breathe in as deep as you can, as long as you can. Hands are pressing and you're exhaling, but you're also squeezing your abdominals, squeezing your legs, connecting your feet to the earth. Now, each at your own pace, try to grow your breath little by little, a little bit longer. You might even count how long your inhales go. Count how long your exhales go. And see if we can't keep expanding prana, life force, and energy in our body. And we do this class one breath at a time. And we notice the quality of our breath while we're moving through class one breath at a time. And that quality of breath will tell us if we're straining or forcing or pushing in some way. And in those cases, we just want to back it off a little bit, maybe take a break. So no pressure, no strain. Just let the poses have their way with you. You staying mindful and present the whole time. We're all at a different pace. So the next time you lift your arms up, that will be the last one. And then when we meet in Tadasana, we'll double check on our foot position. So the big toes touch, but the heels do not. And then as you externally rotate one more time, we're going to lift up and go for our steeple grip. Steeple grip to the ceiling, take it side to side. And notice to lift your spine out of your hips, you've got to make your glutes active and pointing down. Let's meet in the middle. Lift up and lengthen on the inhale and over to the right to hold steady. So what's amazing about these classes is it's an isometric strength building class. That means that we're not moving, right? But we're moving our muscles as much as we can. So our body's not moving, but our muscles are squeezing and activating. And they're finding that isometric strengthening is one of the best ways to get strong, to get flexible, the most effective way. So you got to do your part. It's invisible. You're squeezing as many muscles as you can onto bone. So feel the arm muscles a little stronger. Feel leg muscles squeezing, glutes squeezing to press down. Then emphasize that feeling of stretch, and we'll bring it back up to the midline. Lift up and lengthen on the inhale and over to the left to hold steady. So we want to squeeze glutes and they press down towards the ground. We want to have our feet like suction cups into the ground. We want to have pliable feet that can feel the earth. And as the lower body roots into the ground, like you're being planted, the upper body grows up, but we're going diagonally. And then the breath fills us up. Muscles squeezing, chest lifting, whole body stretching. You can even use your bottom hand to pull your top hand a little longer. And we'll emphasize here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll take it back up to the middle. Hands can stay in place or put your hands right on your glutes. Going for our standing back bend. Glutes will remain strong as we're going to lift our chest up to go backwards. If you'd like to, remain with your chin down for a moment until you really feel like you've activated and your chest is backwards. Then if you'd like to stretch your neck, we just very slowly tip the head backwards. Chin goes up towards the ceiling, front of the throat, feeling a stretch. Emphasize here. Excellent. We're going to come on up. And as you do, bend your knees a lot, go over the top and touch the ground. Once your fingers touch the ground, pedal it out right and left and right and left and right and left. Let your head shake it out. Maybe shoulders are shrugging. Maybe you're bending your knees deeper and re-straightening them. Loosen, loosen, loosen it up. All right, let's meet up with the big toes together. We're going to swipe our hands behind the back of the calves, rolling the weight into the toes. Pressing all the forearm onto the calf. So see if you can wrap the elbows behind you. You've got to bend your knees a ton so your belly lays on your thighs. Once your belly lays completely on your thighs, that's where you start to stretch. You're leaning forward into your toes and you're kicking your seat up little by little by little. Now, could the head fall down and completely relax? Really press the stretch. So we want the knees to squeeze towards each other. We want the whole front side of your body in a contraction. So we're kind of drawing our thighs up. We're drawing our abdominals in and up. We're feeling our pectoralis and our chest squeezing. And then we're going to emphasize here. To come up safely, we bend the knees a lot, make a nice straight spine, airplane the arms, and then reach the arms way up to the ceiling, stretch up nice and tall, meet and greet this moment, and then releasing the arms. All right, we're going to do it all over again. Check in on your feet, externally rotate, lift the arms up, steeple grip it is, go on up and stretch on over. Good. Saying goes half as long, so you make it twice as strong. We're going to see how much we can have that lifted up feeling. So even though our torso is going over to the side, we don't want the right side of our rib to kind of jut into our body. We want to even lift the right rib up out of the hip to go over to the side. Now emphasize here. And then we'll take this up to the midline, lift up and lengthen on the inhale and over to the left to hold steady. Glutes are burrowing down. Ribs are lifting up, but leaning over to the side. Bottom arm is pulling the top arm little by little, a little longer, feeling that nice opening in your rotator cuff. Emphasize here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming up to the middle, hands can stay where they were or put the hands right on your glutes for more support, reminding your glutes to be strong. As you lift up to go back, the glutes are what's preventing your back from buckling in just one spot. Then maybe you tuck your chin and then very slowly furl and let the head fall backwards with slow and controlled so the chin pokes up towards the ceiling. We'll regain the chin into throat and then lift our chest up and take your time to go over the top and touch the ground. Once you touch the ground, we're going to go for our bind. So put the hands instead behind on the back of the calves, or you might even scoop the hands underneath the back of the heels. So all of the fingernails are underneath your foot there. So you're cupping your Achilles tendon or cupping the calf itself. Elbows are trying to squeeze and hug like they almost like they want to touch each other behind you. Your belly is so glued to your thighs, then you're ready to roll the weight a little forward and little by little push the seat up to the ceiling a little bit more to cultivate the stretch. We'll emphasize here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and to come up safely, bend the knees a lot, airplane the arms, nice straight back, all the way up we go. Stretch up as tall as you can, inhale, and then we'll release the arms. All right, let's get these legs involved. Step or hop your feet so they're hip distance apart. We want to track our knees and our big toes. So big toes turn in slightly, seat goes back, and we sit into our imaginary chair. Arms are going to poke a hole in the mirror. Sometimes it's nice to just turn the thumb part of your hands upward a little bit. That's going to help you to knit your armpits and your shoulders down as you do this. And we're looking for great knee tracking. So we want our knees to track right over our, in line with your feet. So no V-shaped feet, no V-shaped knees. See if you can kind of turn that in and really cultivate that. Emphasize. Excellent. We're going to come all the way up. We'll leave our arms in this position, but go right up onto tippy toes. From tippy toes, we remain like this, but bend your knees like you're sliding down the wall. And we're going to go for about bar stool height. So we try to keep the back of our head on the wall, the back of our shoulders on the wall. And then you see if you can roll those heels up little by little, a little higher. Try to keep relaxation in the face and the jaw, like from the neck up. That's like your picture for your holiday card. So you just want to make it look smooth and easy. We'll take this all the way up to standing straight legs, tippy toes, balancing, emphasize. Excellent. The heels will come down. We're going for our deep knee bend. The first step is to get it so that the big toes turn in and the knees touch each other. And you might kind of stop just halfway down. You're like, yeah, that feels good for me. If you feel like you want to go lower, if your knees feel a little challenged, you could put your hands on the ground. Otherwise, you're trying to reach forward the whole time, trying to get your hips to float over your heels a little bit. We've got it. And imagine I've given you all books to hold underneath your armpits. Have that energy of squeezing the sides of the armpits down the whole time. Chin tuck so your neck is nice and long. And then let's take this all the way back up. We'll go up slow. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. We just held our arms stiff. How about bend the elbows and cluck them around a little bit? Because we're going to do it all over again. Now we've got some nice circulation going. We'll extend those arms forward. Seat pushes back. We're going to sit down into that chair once again. Foot tracking, knee tracking important. So big toes turn in. Yeah, like that. You've got it. Push your seat back behind you. So the weight goes way into your heels in this one. Yeah, push your seat backwards. Get that weight into your heels. Maybe we bend the knees just a hair more, like we're trying to creep down towards the ground a little bit more. Well done, everybody. Let's take this all the way up, right up onto tippy toes. From tippy toes, slide down the wall. Remember, you got to keep the back of your head on the wall and the back of your shoulders on the wall. And then see if those heels roll up just a little higher. Emphasize. Now straighten into the legs and hold your balance on tippy toes. Excellent. We'll put the heels down, going for our deep knee bend. Arms stay forward if possible. Knees are going to squeeze each other. Pigeon toe. You can even narrow the feet a little bit more. We go halfway down or we go all the way down, challenging our knee flexion. It's important for the joints to be able to fully bend and fully extend, and we do that with all of our joints today. So, and you just kind of keep working on yourself until you grow in that direction. Speaking of growing, let's grow ourselves back up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Now it's time to stretch out the arms quite a lot. We'll open the arms into a giant Y shape. See if you can sink the shoulders down so that you have more space between your neck and your shoulders there. Take a big breath in. We're going to wrap it up so the right arm goes underneath the left. You could do the hug where you touch the opposite shoulder or continue that eagle twine. Bending into the knees deeply, we're going to put the right thigh over the left for our Garudasana. So this is a one-legged squat. Don't be confused by all of the clamor of all the legs all twined and the arms all twined. Concentrate on the one-legged squat. So your left knee points straight forward. Your left knee bends really deeply. In order to get the left knee to bend deeper, you've got to push your seat up and back a little bit more. Then from here, we all need to lift our chest 2 inches higher. So lift your chin. Yes, that's beautiful. Tuck your chin, lift your chest up. Now your chest is lifted. Engage your abdominal muscles a little bit more. And then we'll emphasize here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Unraveling to reach the arms up to the heavens. Now stretch up as tall as you can to inhale. And we're going to wrap it up so the left arm goes under. Sit into your chair. So you're either doing the hug or the twine. And then we're going to go for left thigh over. All right. So we'll kind of deconstruct this in our mind. We're going to concentrate on the one-legged squat. So just notice, for example, the arch of the standing foot. If it's dumping in, then your knee is also dumping in. In other words, if all of the weight is on the big toe side of your right foot, then you've got to even it out. Can you get the weight more evenly established in that standing foot? Then you can look up higher towards the knee, make it track straight forward with your toes pointing straight forward. Emphasize here by maybe sitting down into it, but lifting your chest up a little higher, tucking your chin, and we'll hold steady for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's unravel, but reach up tall. Stretch as big as you can and take a big breath in. Second set, we go. Right arm goes on under. Sit into your chair, and we'll go for right thigh on over. Awesome. So we've kind of got it. So we're paying attention to our knee tracking and our foot. If we take our awareness up a little higher, we want to have the feeling of hugging in from the side of our left hip. So most of the time we shuffle the left hip sideways and we kind of hang sideways on the hip. In place of that, try to hug the side of your hip inward just a little bit more. Now emphasize. Excellent. We'll unravel. Reach up tall and stretch as big as you can, inhaling. To wrap it up on the other side, left arm goes under, sitting down into your squat. So the left thigh goes over. Good. One-legged squat. So really try to bend the right knee. Try to hug the side of the hip inward as opposed to shifting it out to the side. So sometimes as we do this, hip goes sideways and we want it to kind of hug in and push in. So imagine right hip pushing to the left. Emphasize here. All right, let's unravel ourselves a final stretch up. And we've made it to our first drink break. And it's a little bit like breaking the ice, right? We're breaking the ice to our stiffness and we're moving into our flexibility. And we just want to kind of celebrate. The hardest part is sort of getting started. So now we've got the ball rolling. We'll be at the back of our mat. We're going to get strong in our hip flexors and our legs. So left foot is spreading out so that you can lift the right knee up. And as you lift the right knee up, interlace your fingers. We hold on to the knee. So we're going to work within this shape. So usually when we do this, it makes us pull our tail under. So might you bend your standing leg a little bit and kick your tail up and back a little bit more. And that's going to allow you to lift your chest, have your chest broader. Yeah, so instead of leaning back, we want to lift up. Tail has to lift up and back so our chest can lift up. Maybe you're letting go of the leg and you're maybe even doing one-legged squats. You might bend and straighten into your left knee. You might use your hands a little bit less to hold the leg up. You might even kick out the leg or hold onto the foot and extend the leg out. So lots of ways for you to work on your pose, to work on something that challenges your strength. We're going to emphasize for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's mindfully place that foot down, spread the toes out. It's going to hold you balancing while we lift up the left knee. First, holding on to the knee and just really working on your posture. A little bend in the standing leg so you can get your chest to go up and back, get your seat to go up and back. And once you've got that, working on your variations, you might be bending and straightening into the standing leg. You might be using your hands less to hold yourself up. You might even be kind of actively kicking out the left leg or even holding on to the left foot and extending it. So lots of ways for you to serve your body. Notice your breath coming in. Notice your state of presence. Remember, non-straining, non-forcing in our choices. And we emphasize here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Now we're going to get the front side nice and opened up with our Dancer Warrior 3 sequence. So left foot's going to hold your body weight, mindfully spread the toes out, right heel kicks up behind you, going for our dancer grip. So you can hold on the outside of the ankle or on the inside of the ankle. Knees will click together. Good. Abdominals are drawing in, ribs are drawing in, and we're going to activate our glute to extend our leg behind us. Right glute strong, right leg extends behind us. Once we've got that, we're going to keep knitting in to lift up that left arm. Try to create a spiral effect. Right hip spiraling towards the ground. Right shoulder spiraling towards the ceiling. Your hand is holding onto the foot. Can you make every single finger do its job? Especially that pinky finger, every finger squeezing so your shoulder feels integrated and safe. We want to soften our breath, soften our state of presence. And even if you have to back it off just a little bit, let's emphasize here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Glorious poses. Right foot steps forward, hands in prayer. Good. Before we go anywhere, activate your left glute, straighten your knee, and just float your foot. Okay? So now we're going to swivel that on your hip. So right hip is the hinge. You're keeping the leg straight. You're keeping the glute active, trying to keep the hips squaring towards the ground. So maybe we could lift our chest up just an inch and maybe even lift our back leg up an inch or press the back leg just little by little, a little straighter. Emphasize here. Excellent. Let's step back and step back. Rejuvenating breath in, soothing breath out. All right, we've got what it takes. Let's go for the other side. Right foot is spread out so your left heel can kick behind you, holding on inside or outside of that ankle. Knees click together. Glute fires and the thigh moves behind you a little bit. With your hand on your belly, you can imagine that your fingers are like measuring sticks, and you want to make the space between your rib and your pelvis a little shorter. It's going to want to spread out a lot, and that buckles into the back. So you kind of keep a little taper on that. Let it knit in just a little bit. Taper it just a little. Yes, little bend in the standing leg is going to allow you to push the right hip up and back. We're trying to open our chest little by little. We're hugging in the side of our hip. And then we'll emphasize here by taking a deep breath in. Right shoulder hugs down for 5. You've got what it takes. Now go for it. For 4, give it your all. For 3, 2, and 1. Stepping that foot forward into our warrior 3. Back leg, can you really fire the back leg? So you're making the right glute squeeze, the right leg straight, the right leg floats. And there's your hinge effect. So now we're hinging on the left leg as we do this. Keep the chest lifted. Keep a little bend in the standing leg. Remember, you want to shift your right leg to the right a little bit. That way those hips will turn down for you. Good. And then the left side's trying to do all the work in place. Lengthen into that right side. Draw in. Squeeze tight. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll step back and step back. Take a deep breath in. All right, so now we're going to go dancer right side followed by dancer left side. Right heel kicks up behind you. Right hand holds on. Knees click together. We'll add on our glute squeezes to extend our leg back behind us. Left arm is reaching, and we're breathing. And we're here. So we won't want to discount this moment on the way to somewhere else. This is part of our life. This is one of our choices in our life. So just feel yourself in this moment, following through on your intentions, the joy that comes from being able to work with your body like you're doing now, and then emphasize for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That foot glues into the earth so that we can work on the other side. Left heel kicks back into our dancer. Left hand chooses its grip. And when you're ready, you're going to add on the glute. It makes the leg work. So glute fires to get the leg back behind you. Add on your reach. And then most importantly, add the element of joy and love to your practice. We might feel the joy of having a healthy body, the joy of this deep breath, the joy of having personal discipline and stamina to stay with it. Emphasize. Bravo, everybody. We're releasing the foot down. We're getting into our final cardio blast. So we're at the back of our mat, externally rotating the arms, lifting up. We've got the steeple grip, but feel free to bring the steeple grip into your chest. We'll step forward with the left foot. Make the right leg straight and strong, little bend in the left leg. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep the glute active. We're going to keep the leg lifting, the chest lifting, and go super slow. So you'll notice the tendency when the leg wants to buckle across the midline. Instead, you'll keep edging the leg in line with your hip over to the right a little bit. We'll keep the leg lifted and the chest lifted. Looks beautiful, everyone. Let's step back and step back. We can leave our arms in place so that we can step forward with the right foot. Little bend in that standing leg. Can you make the left leg really straight and strong? Find the glute, squeeze it tight, make the knee nice and straight, and then hinge on that leg. Right leg is the hinge, and all we're doing is very slowly tipping a straight line body around the hinge. You've got it. Can the chest lift up? Can the chin tuck? For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, awesome, everybody. Let's bring the heart rate down a little bit. Big step forward with your right foot. And as you do so, turn sideways on your mat. Make sure that the sides of your feet are parallel with the edges of your mat. Bend the knees into a rather deep squat while you rest your elbows on your knees. Then peek over your right shoulder. Look in the mirror. See that your back is straight and your seat is way, way back. Your knees are over your ankles, not over your toes. Now reach way, way forward with your fingertips. Spread your arms out as wide as your feet, and the aim is to push your seat way, way back. Fingers touch the ground and press down to pull you longer. Seat pushes back more and more and more. Legs are pressing themselves little by little, a little bit straighter, but not straight up to the ceiling. You're pushing way, way back. Could your head relax just a little bit more? Good. Can every single finger has a job to do? Can it be pushing into the ground, connecting to your shoulders, shoulders knitting into your back? You've got it. Now suction cup those feet and make the feet squeeze towards each other. That's it. Emphasize. Try to get way, way back. Bend your knees more. Fingers reach way, way. That's excellent. For 5, 4, 3, 2. We want to come up safely. So bend the knees a lot. Nice straight back to come all the way up. Hands on hips. We'll dial the right toes to face the front. You might even widen the stance a little bit. Bend and straighten into the right knee. Wiggling, wiggling, wiggling until you get a nice wide stance. The aim is to feel stretch on your inner right groin. So that's what we've got. Arms are opening T shape. Let's drop the right hand to the inside of that front knee and left arm goes up diagonally. All right, so we're there. We're sinking into it. We want to have that feeling of pressure, right hand into knee and knee into hand. We also want to find relaxation in the top part of our body. We want to feel the movement coming from our core. So the shoulder tries to spiral open. Come on up higher with your torso. Yeah, up, up, up. So yeah, there it goes. And then keep open like that. Good. We'll stay with it. So we've got this little spiral effect. Looks so good. Emphasizing. So in place of pressing way, way back, see if you can aim your right hip towards your left heel instead of aiming your hip way into the parking lot. Try to get that nice spiral. Then the chest is spiraling towards the ceiling. We've got it. Now emphasize. Excellent. Let's come on up. As you come up, turn the left toes to face towards the back. We're going to do the same shape in the other direction. Bend and straighten the left knee many times. Open that stance nice and long so you get a really good stretch in the inner groin. And then we're ready to go for it. We'll drop the left hand to the inside of the front knee. Right arm goes up. Good. If you stay with me for a moment, instead of this, go like this. In place of this, that. Yeah, so hand forward, shoulder back. Hand forward, shoulder back. Yeah, like that. Looks so good. All right, stay with it. Maybe we got a little pulse in our standing foot. Maybe we're feeling our feet like suction cups. Is the outer blade of your right foot actively engaged? Our back foot, we want to turn it towards our toes in the front. So we want right toes turning towards left toes. And then let's emphasize here for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on up. You might narrow your stance just slightly. We're going to do that wide-legged forward fold again. Bend your knees a lot until you're in a squat and you've got elbows on your knees. Reach your hands way, way forward. Fingers touch the ground. Seat pushes way, way back. Tail starts to lift up towards the ceiling. Little by little, legs get a little bit straighter. Good. So you want a nice wide, long stance, separating those feet pretty wide. And then we want to push our seat way, way back. Hands way, way forward. Yeah, head falls way, way down. Maybe even shake your head out as you do this. Looks good. Try for the sides of the feet parallel with the edges of your mat. Yeah, more. There. And then really use your feet. Really squeeze your legs towards each other. How about right leg a little straighter than the left leg? And just feel that. And then switch it out. Left leg a little straighter than the right and feel that. Excellent. Find symmetry. And then bending into the knees, we're going to come on up. Let's make our warrior 2 to face the front. Right toes spin to face the front. Right knee bends. You might stretch the stance out longer. Arms open T shape. Take a deep inhale. We've got this. Right hand drops to the inside of the knee. Left arm reaches up. Good. And then maybe we give this like we're on a little bumpy ride. We'll go up an inch and down an inch and up an inch and down an inch. Kind of just challenge those muscles instead of letting them sleep in place. Make them get strong in their longest position. A little bit of movement. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming up to take the dial of the feet to face the back. Left toes point towards the back wall. Right toes also turn towards that back wall. Knee bends. Left arm drops down. Right arm reaches up. And again, give it the bouncy. Yeah, that's great with your hips. Give it the bouncy road. I won't say bouncy airplane because, man, that freaks me out when the airplane starts to bounce. Let's do a bouncy road instead. Good. Let's see where you can go. Challenge those muscles for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. We're going to step our feet to the front of the mat. And as you do so, we'll turn around to face the back of the mat. So we've got a long mat in front of us for our separate leg stretching. Right foot's going to step way, way forward. Go on tippy toes with your back foot for a moment. Reach your fingertips to the ground by bending into both of the knees. Once your hands touch the ground, peel the left heel in and down. And then start to traction the pose by pushing the right leg little by little, a little bit straighter. Good. So now, as you look in the mirror, you want to get off the tightrope. So widen those feet, train tracks. So feet as wide as your hips. And as you do that, you'll be able to square those hips down just a little bit more. So just check in on that. Yeah. So take this foot and put it way over here. Yeah. There, and feel the space. Then create space equally on the right side of your core and the left side of your core. Looks so deluxe. You've got it. Stay with it. We're pressing the stretch with our front foot. We're tucking our chin in. We're activating the front side of our body so the back side relaxes little by little, a little bit more. Excellent. To come up, let's bend both of the knees once again. Nice straight spine to come all the way up. We'll step the right foot back, same shape, other side, left foot steps forward. Good. Widen the feet so they're as wide as your hips. Bend into both of the knees until you touch the ground. Straightening into the back leg to peel the heel in and down. Good. So this is a great one. When you look into the mirror, you want to get your whole body and your arms on the inside of the width of your feet. So as you look through your legs, widen your foot more and more and more, maybe left foot to the left a lot more, until you can look through and you find your face right in the middle, your nose right in the middle of your legs. And that's where we want to work it. That way the spine doesn't do a little J hook in the low back. That's not really good for your low back to J hook. The upper body is what needs to kind of create itself and its stability, but the lower body, we want nice and straight and level. Let's emphasize here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll bend into both of the knees to come on up. All right, stepping back, turn around, find the new you in the mirror. You've done so much already. The yoga has had its way with you. Tree pose is our final standing pose. Left foot's going to hold your body weight. Right foot makes its way into the tree. Choosing where you'd like to put the foot, it can kickstand on the bottom. It can go on the shin, higher than the knee, or even across to the left hip. We could take our hands to grow up towards the ceiling, and we could even take our gaze to grow up towards the ceiling. To challenge our balance, look quickly down to the ground. Notice how that will impact your balance. You're moving your head and your eyes, and then look quickly back up to the ceiling. Good. Establish concentration on the standing foot. And if you'd like for our super challenge, we're going to close our eyes for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right foot makes its way to plant its roots for tree on the other side. Left foot makes its way on up. Good. Choosing your foot position. Good. Still knitting in on the side of the hip for all of the standing work. When you're ready to grow your branches up, we do so. Our gaze goes up. And then the challenge, we want a little breeze in our forest, right? So look down quickly. That makes your branches sway a little bit. And then look up quickly. Excellent. And then for our final breeze, we're going to focus on the standing foot, but close our eyes for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Maybe you honor your standing practice with love and gratitude towards this body, this self, this moment that is yours. And we rest. Traditional practice, so we line up our head to face with the mirror, feet to the back of the room. Good. Now it's our turn to balance out our nervous system a little bit. So we exhale and count 4, 5, or 6. And then inhale. Again, 4, 5, 6, even more. So this is our second round of pranayama exercises. At the very beginning, we breathe in, right? We count our breath. So this one we're doing in a way where we inflate our belly like a balloon. And it's going to calm our nervous system down. Putting your body in a hot room and asking it to do these exercises is a challenge. And your brain and your nervous system have to upregulate to meet the challenge. That's normal, that's natural, that's good for you. But can you bring yourself down? That's called being able to regulate yourself. We need to be able to have these kinds of variabilities where we're up a little and we bring ourselves down. That way, when life is happening to us and we're upregulated, we know our voice is loud, we've lost control a little bit. We need to know how to bring ourselves, snap ourselves out of it. So we practice here and we get good at it so that at home we can regulate ourselves even more rapidly than before. Now let's keep up with the deep breathing. but a few relaxing stretches, drawing right knee into belly, give it a squeeze. And as you squeeze, can you broaden your chest and lift your chest up to the ceiling, but tuck your chin down. Point and flex that right foot many times. Big breath in. We're still working on our breath. See if you can shrug your shoulders down and your chin down. Yeah, that's so good. Stretch out the neck. Emphasize. Now let's relax the right leg down the mat. Left knee comes in. Primary focus is creating relaxation by the way we breathe, the way we talk to ourselves, celebrating and focusing on gratitude. Like the saying goes, when you walk into the room, do you see the rose in the vase or do you see the dust on the table? They're both there. Let's point and flex our foot. But based on which one you focus on will determine your experience. If you experience joy or negativity, flip the coin. And while the coin's in the air, you choose heads or tails. Releasing that leg down. Let's go for both knees coming in at the same time. Holding on. We might even try to make our ankles do simultaneous circles. So make your feet together and make some circles here. See if you can coordinate that. My ankles are moving circularly. My feet, like one unit, like a mermaid would move their feet. Or I guess a merman, if there's a merman and that's Aquaman, right? All right, I diverge. Reach your feet out. Hook your heels into the ground and then arms overhead. Glue your back to the ground. Take a big breath in. We got to get ourselves up. So come on up, blow the breath out. Shush, shush, as you come on up. We're getting into our core intensity, core strength, front core, back core, front core, back core. Get into Sphinx pose by propping up onto your elbows and then widen your feet. Feet are as wide as the edges of your mat and then tuck your toes under. So all your toes are bending. You're on your toe prints. Push down with your elbows. Puff up the back of your neck. Puff up the back of your shoulders. Puff up your ribs. Then pull your pelvis off of the ground and create this curl. Good. Now, 8 points. So feel the hands really working. We want our elbows just a little bit in front of our shoulders and as narrow as our shoulders. Good. And then we're going to knit in and knit up. Round your lower back up. Good. Squeeze those legs towards each other. How round can you make your back? No puddles in the back. If you were a turtle shell, it's got the highest part would be right where your ribs are, and it trails down towards your tail, trails down towards your head. Emphasize here. Excellent. Let's lay down and get our back core strong. So we'll put our hands so they're underneath our shoulders. Turn the hands out so the elbows turn in. Close your legs and point your toes. Glutes squeeze and the legs press down. Chest is going to lift up. As your chest lifts up, try not to push down with your hands. Use your back strength, but hug with your elbows, hug with your shoulders. You've got that book underneath your armpits and you're trying to slide the book down towards your hips. That's it. Legs are strong, knees are straight, toes are pointed, so the toenails are on the ground this time. Good. Push down with those feet. Lift up with the chest. Glute squeeze to lift your chest up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We lay down and the left ear touches. Exhale all the air out. Inhale deeply. That's the calming effect. Now we get right into the second set. Elbows down, legs wide, toes tuck. Second 8-point plank we go. Push down with the elbows, puff up the back of the neck, the back of the shoulders, puff up those ribs, pull your pelvis off of the ground and curl yourself. See how round you can make yourself. Remember, elbows have to be in front of the shoulders and then as narrow as the shoulders. And pull your belly button up more round. Nope, the other way. Tuck your tail and round here. Yeah, like that. Oh, you can feel it, right? That's so good. We'll isolate and activate our core in the deepest way. Emphasize here for 5. Looks really good, you guys. You got it. For 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Let's lay down and lay on our arms. Slide the arms long down the mat and put them underneath your body. Palms can be facing up or palms facing down, but either way, we're pushing into the ground. Squeeze the legs together nice and tight. Right buttock squeezes, right knee becomes straight, right leg lifts up and into the air. Good. Push out through the toe to make the leg nice and straight. Simultaneously hug in with the hip. So the toe is growing you longer, but the strength of your hip is pulling into the socket for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax that leg down. Activate the left glute. Left leg becomes straight. Left leg lifts up and into the air. First, press the leg straighter and simultaneously hug your hip in. Push with the hands into the ground. You're kissing the mat. Tuck your face down. Emphasize. Then that leg relaxes down. Let's get it so the knees touch each other. Let's get it so the sides of the big toes touch each other. The heels pull apart. Knees squeeze, toes squeeze, legs become straight, and let's lift that on up. Good. See if you can open the heels just a little bit. Squeeze into it. Lift into it. Glutes are lifting the legs. Hands and arms are pushing down. Emphasize 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Let's pull the arms out. Right ear touches. Did I mention we are getting our core strong? Let's go for it. Third set. Sphinx we go. Widen those feet. Tuck those toes. Let's give it our all. We're only here once today, and it only lasts a couple minutes. It's short intensity. Push to puff. If we do this with all intensity for a short period of time, like we're doing, we get maximally strong. Some people say this high intensity is the equivalent of like 4 times the normal work. So how round can you make your back? Yeah, see if you can puff up, pull in, puff up. Knees are wide, knees are squeezing towards each other. Every finger has a job to do. Elbows have a job to do. How much can you round into it? Find the muscles lower than your belly button and puff up. Yes, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Phew. Let's lay down. Let's go for a ride in that airplane, but it's going to be a smooth airplane ride. Arms open, T-shaped, or like swept back wings. Legs come together. Legs are strong. We're going to push down with our feet, lift our chest up. Good. We can even push down karate chops into the ground or float the hands up. Now add on, legs float up as well. Whole body flying, chin is tucking. So you want to be aerodynamic. If you were an airplane, you do not want all those bugs and ducks like running into your eyes, right? Look down, let everything be aerodynamic. Extend out, knees squeeze, sides of the big toes squeeze, emphasize. Excellent. Let's lay it on down. We'll rest, left ear touches. Find your exhale and make it full and complete. Find your inhale and let it really expand your low back. We made it to the last one. Let's dig those elbows down, widen the feet, toes tuck. Final 8-point plank we go. Push down, puff up, round up. You've got it. You've got one more chance to get strong. Let's give it our all. Zip in and zip up. Knees are wide, feet are wide. And then, yes, just like that. You knew what I was going to do. Emphasize. See how long you can make the pose. Remember, you want your elbows only as wide as your shoulders. Good. And then you want your body really, really long so knees can walk longer down the mat. Good. And shoulders stay up here. There you are. You're there. Now zip in and zip up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. How about crocodile? Just stack your forearms and your forehead has a little pillow. Bend into the knees so your toes go towards the ceiling. Sway the ankles and shins side to side like a windshield wiper. See if you can get your inner ankle to come and touch the ground by staggering your feet. Let the hips roll. One rolls up, the other rolls up. Really swirl the hips around. All right, going for our bow pose. Bending into both of the knees so the toes point straight up towards the ceiling. Hands reach back to hold on to feet or ankles. Glutes are going to squeeze. Knees and chest. Knees are going to push down. Chest is going to lift up. Glutes squeeze, knees press down, chest lifts up. Good. Once you've got that, add on that kick. Feet are kicking. Thighs are lifting. Reactivate those glutes. Try to squeeze your shoulders, again, holding that book with your armpit. Knees are holding an imaginary block. Can the glute be more active? Then the chest lifts up. Remember, tuck that chin. That way the chest can lift up even more. Yes, for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's come on up. As we do so, we'll walk our knees to the front of the mat. And as you get to the front of the mat, sitting on your heels, you can walk your hands backwards. Maybe you just stay like that. That feels like plenty. You can sit on your arches of your feet if you like, or prop up onto your elbows, or laying all the way back onto your back. Okay, so no forcing, no straining. This isn't about creating knee pain or knee difficulties, so just kind of check in. Then to really work the stretch in this pose, let's use our hands on the ground, and we're going to try to lift our pelvis a little bit off of our heels. So maybe our pelvis goes up an inch. Try to push your pelvis up a little bit so it's lighter. And when you do that, for sure, you feel the stretch more, right? I'll take that as a resounding yes. I see I'm an optimist. All right, let's walk ourselves back up. We'll turn around and lay on our backs. Excellent. Spread your legs out long. Dig your heels in. Heels digging in and pulling back. Arms overhead. Take a big breath in. Keep your back flat. Keep your breath in and come on up. Touch your toes. Blow the breath out twice like you're blowing out the candles. And we'll turn around. We'll be at the back of our mat, sitting on our heels. Going for some spinal extension. Externally rotate, lift those arms up, clap yourself into a prayer. Get as tall as you can, and then take that long spine all the way down to the ground. Your prayer touches the ground and your forehead touches the ground. And the aim is to reach your arms as long as they can. So the elbows try to stay lifted. Yep, maybe squeeze. Oh, you're on the block. Okay, that's, yeah. You can put maybe the block on the narrower setting. It's okay to use the block to help you, but I feel like it was making your knees really wide. Yeah. All right, get as long as you can. Now to come up safely, squeeze your knees, squeeze your abdominals, and lift your arms up. We'll turn around and lay on our backs. Extending the legs out and extending the length of your breath. Excellent. Now let's bend into the knee so the feet are standing. Reach your fingertips towards your heels for our bridge pose. Push down with the feet. We're going to roll our hips up to the ceiling. Yeah, bridge pose. Yes. Now turn the big toes in. Narrow those feet so they're hugging, knees are hugging an imaginary block. See if you can do the palms facing up. As the palms face up, see how it flattens your shoulders a little bit more. We want that. Excellent. Go on tippy toes with the right foot. Left heel is going to push the pose. Pulse, 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 pulse. Good. Now switch it out. Good. So within here, make the knees narrower. Widen the feet so they're wide as your hips. Other heels, pulse, pulse, pulse. Excellent. Let's meet with both heels down and do that pulse one more time. Both heels pushing, pulse, pulse, pulse. And then we'll roll both heels up to roll our back all the way down. Extending the legs out, digging the heels in. Arms go overhead. Take a big breath in and flatten your back. Hold the breath in. Let's come on up. Touch your toes, blow the breath out. Excellent. Now it's time to get the back nice and round. So we're going to kneel down at the back of our mat. Sitting on your heels. Get as tall as you can in this shape, and to make the spine round, first tuck your chin into your throat, and then push your ribs backwards behind you, kind of hollow yourself out. That gives you room to grab a hold of your heels. And as you do so, you're going to take this hollowed out shape to the ground. So not your forehead, but your hair, the top of your head touches the ground, and your hips try to lift up and off of your heels. Hold on tight to your feet as you do this. Try to round your back, top of the head down, seat goes up, up, up. See how round you can get. That's it, you're there. Good. Now emphasize into it. Feel equal weight on right knee and left knee. Yeah, feel equal length in the side of your body. So this side still needs to learn to hug a little bit more. Yeah, good. Emphasize here. Then we want to take it slow. Knees squeeze, abdominal squeeze, seat comes down, torso comes up. Let's turn around and lay on our backs. Closing sequence, I do laying on our backs. If you prefer seated, guide yourself through seated stretches. We're going to do active stretches on our back. If you're following along with me, right leg straight and strong and right leg lifts up and into the air. Hands can press down onto the ground. Good. First step is to move that right leg a little bit further away from you towards the back wall, and then push through the heel, flex into the foot, make the knee straight. Use the strength of your quadricep to make that leg go up a little higher. Good, and that's all we're doing. We're trying to first make the knee straight and then try to traction it up towards the ceiling. Remember, our shoulders go down and our chin goes down. Palms can face up. Emphasize. Now let's slack that leg and just shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it all the way down. Let's get active on the other side. Left leg lifts up into the air. At first, the knee will bend. That's natural, okay? Move the leg further away from you, kick through the heel, make the knee straight. And once the knee is straight, use the strength of the leg to traction that leg back up towards the ceiling. Looks good. Stay with it and emphasize. Feel the strength in your quadricep holding that active stretch. That means that your body is learning how to do this and it can control this range of motion. Pretty cool. Emphasize. And then we're going to slack the leg, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it all the way down. Final active work. Knees draw in so the feet are floating. Both feet straight up to the ceiling. Both arms overhead like a Y shape. Make the Y nice and wide and touch your thumbs like karate chops into the ground. Then make the fingers move out to the side so that both of the fingers are pointing, all the fingers are pointing away from the midline. Good. From here, push your back into the ground. Push your ribs into the ground. Make your legs a little straighter so your heels go up to the ceiling. Now curl yourself so your shoulders come off the ground, your head and your arms come off the ground an inch. That's it. Now, while you're curled up, flatten your back. This is all about making your low back flat, your ribs flat. You've got it. Legs are active. Shoulders and head are lifting just an inch. Try to make the arms reach an inch longer towards the mirror. Emphasize 5, 4, 3, 2, and then bend into the knees. Arms are going to open T shape. Gratefully, joyfully, knees sway to the left. And as they do so, we'll turn our face to the right. Let's do our sigh of relief here. Take a deep inhale and exhale. We go, yeah. Beautiful spinal rotation. Maybe you like to straighten into that top right leg. Feel the stretch a little bit more in the outside of the hip. You can angle the leg like 90 degrees or angle it diagonally down your mat. Angle it in a way where you feel the stretch across your IT band and the side of your hip. Emphasize. And as you rebend into the knees, knees are going to flop up and over to the other side. And we'll extend that left leg out. Good. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. So even though this is not an official chillax class, I have the chillax technology here. So as you're relaxing and eventually making your way into your Shavasana, I will be delivering ice packs. You can put them in areas that you'd like to cool off and relax. You can have 1 or 2 if you want more than 1. And then just raise your hand. I'll come on over. If you want to, just raise 2 fingers and then I'll know. You want another one? All right. Any chill? All right. You want 1 or 2? 1. All right. Chill technology. All right. Okay. I got the orders in. Orders have been placed and delivery is making its way. Okay. All right. Did you want some ice? Okay. I'm coming for some right now. All right. Get another batch. Yeah. Deep inhale and exhale. We go. Ah. But have I missed anybody, or someone would like they're in the mood for another one? Just wave your hand. I'll bring more over. Okay, got everyone in place. So the chillax is awesome. You try, if you put the ice on your bare skin, you'll feel in a little while it starts to burn a little bit. So you want to either keep moving it around to different places, or even just put it on a place where you have your shirt or something, or some cloth. So don't want it to have that burning feeling. So you just kind of keep moving and adjusting. So you can give it a good 5 or 10 minutes, allowing yourself to settle into that nice, cool sensation, allowing your nervous system to relax by the way you breathe. And then each in their own time, when you feel like your Shavasana is complete, you just quietly let yourself out. My joy, my honor to guide you all today. Namaste, yogis. Namaste. And I want to thank you so much for joining at home as well. My joy, my honor to have you as part of class today. Namaste.